money was never about shiny rocks. It was about the trouble people had to go to get the shiny rocks. Hello, companions. You never see your left hand plotting against your right. There's no jealousy, no grudge between hands, no sneaky attempts to take over toothbrush duties. They just work beautifully together. Left and right have different strengths, sure. One is better with spoons, the other is better at writing shopping lists. But they don't argue about who's best. They don't need love. They don't empathize. They just know somewhere deep in the skin and the nerves and all the wiggly bits that they're part of the same thing. So, why can't we humans live like that? Why, if cooperation feels so right, do we need so many rules to remind us? Why does our idea of good behavior look so much like what our hands do, what our body does, automatically? It's not because we're bad. It's because we're clever. And sometimes a bit too clever. You see, the brain, the lovely thing, figured out how to do a magic trick. It learned how to make illusions. But we'll talk about that later. I want to talk about two big ones. Both very convincing and both entirely made up. The first illusion is that life is a zero-sum game. And that means that if I win, you lose. If you've got the cake, I can't have any. We're competing over limited resources. If somebody else is safe, then I must be in danger. It's a very primitive, a child's idea really, but dressed up in economics and polished shoes. And then there's the second illusion. It's the illusion that we are separate. That you are you, and I am me, and the cat's the cat, and that loud man at the bus stop, most certainly not part of my nervous system. And these two illusions, scarcity and separation, are responsible for almost everything we call unethical. Greed, cruelty, indifference, fear. They're all side effects of forgetting that we're actually not alone in here. And of course, our brains, being clever, tried to fix it. So it invented another illusion, ethics. We talk about kindness and empathy and love. We elevate them to holy states. We call love the answer. And it is, but not because it's so noble, but because it's necessary. It's the medicine for a very specific ailment, the resistance to unity. Now, your hands never needed empathy to work together because they don't resist belonging to each other. But when you think you're separate, when you believe you're in competition, then you need rules. Then you need repair. You need reminders. And so the brain invented ethics. But ethics isn't where it begins. It's where we end up when we've wandered too far from what was always true. And love is what pulls us back without thinking. But love is not the origin. It's a medicine. It too soothes the places where we resist being one, where we cling to being separate, where we forget. So maybe stop seeing ethics as some great moral triumph. Maybe it's just a map back to what we never truly left behind. And maybe, just maybe, your hands have known this all along. And this sounds cool, sounds beautiful. And if we remain silent, we can keep in this beauty for a while. But then, inevitable, there's always one person, a voice from the dark. They may be soft-spoken, polite, but very firm. Yes, love and unity, very nice, but what about money? Money. Money is our most polished illusion, a spell so deep that we've forgotten it is a spell. We build illusions on illusions, being separate, having stuff, possession, until finally we arrived at money. Little numbers telling us exactly how much we own. Shiny coins and crispy banknotes. Invisible balances that tilt our whole lives. Now let's be fair. Money isn't just about who owns what. In our heads, it's come to stand for everything good. Freedom, safety, plenty, luxury, and the power to say yes and the freedom to say no. And because of that, there can never be enough money. So that's where we go wrong. Money is a zero-sum game. If you have it, I don't. By design. It's a very clever system to represent something that never was. Because what money is meant to represent, what it really points to behind the curtains, is effort, not gold. It was never gold. It was always the effort to get gold. We only wanted gold because it was hard to get. Money was never about shiny rocks. It was about the trouble people had to go to get the shiny rocks. Money represents movement, trade, a functioning web of people doing things for each other, building, baking, digging, thinking, weaving, dancing, effort. Enough effort to have somebody go out and find shiny rocks. That's what money represents. And where does this effort come from? Energy. So where do we get our energy? As humans, we get it from the things we eat. Plants, or animals that ate plants. And what do plants eat? Sunlight, air, water, earth. And so, in the simplest sense, money becomes sunlight, filtered through leaves, carried through teeth and hands, and stored in the motion of 1,000 lives. And that's what we're really trading. Not numbers, not depth, but sunlit energy, wrapped in effort, wrapped in hope for a comfortable tomorrow. And here's the beautiful twist. Sure, the sun will run out in a couple of billion years. In the meantime, sunlight isn't short in supply. Air never runs out of generosity. And the earth isn't stingy. The real resources, the one that actually matter, are abundant. We just forgot. We imagined scarcity. We invented poverty. And then, feeling a bit guilty about all the poor people, we invented charity to mop up the mess. Because deep down some part of us knew, and this wasn't quite right. And now you know why. You may have noticed something different about this recording. Not everybody may know I had a stroke 2 years ago. And after the stroke, I needed to learn to speak again. So I haven't been very comfortable with the sound of my own voice and the mistakes that I make if I don't pay very close attention to speaking. So I used an AI that was trained on my own voice and the best bits of speech that I could utter. And that was the smooth voice that you heard up till now. My own voice isn't as smooth, but maybe it's good enough. And it certainly makes it easier to produce these things. I'm off to Bulgaria in a week, and I'll be spending 10 days in my car driving there. And I had hoped to complete a couple of musings in that time. And then I won't have any tools available to clean up the things, so you will hear me make mistakes. And I hope you will bear with me through them. For now, I thank you for joining in.